So, you're leading an AI project. You already know that technology is only what? Half the battle. Today, we're stepping out of the code and right into the boardroom. This is not about algorithms. It's all about strategy. We're going to build the frameworks you actually need to turn that promising AI tech into real-world success.
This quote, it just cuts right through all the noise, doesn't it? It is so easy to get mesmerized by what some new AI model can do. But look, countless promising projects have failed because they forgot this one simple truth. If it doesn't solve a real human problem in a way humans will actually use it, it's just a very, very expensive science experiment.
All right, so let's really dig into that idea. Understanding the human context. That isn't some soft skill, it is the absolute foundation of everything. Before you write a single line of code, before you even think about choosing a vendor, you have got to answer some fundamental questions about the people you're building this for.
These right here, these are the questions that separate the successful projects from the failures. And don't just ask them in some kickoff meeting, you have to live with them. Is this AI going to be a genuine co-pilot for your team, or is it just another annoying pop-up they have to click away? And think about this, when it hallucinates a fake statistic right before a big presentation, because believe me, it will, what's the backup plan? Answering these questions honestly, before you build, is your first and most critical task.
Okay, so answering those questions requires more than just good intentions. It requires a strategist toolkit. See, instead of just reacting to problems as they pop up, a great leader uses proven mental models to anticipate them. So let's go ahead and open up that toolkit and see what's inside.
The very first tool in our kit is strategic thinking. It's all about lifting your head up from the immediate task in front of you. The tactical question is, does this AI feature work? But the strategic question is, how does this one feature change the entire game for our organization over the next 2 years? You have to play chess, not checkers.
Next up, we have to master stakeholder perspectives. And look, let's be real. The finance team wants ROI, IT wants security and stability, and your end users, they just want their job to be easier. The thing is, none of them are wrong. A weak leader tries to please everyone and fails. A strong leader gets them all in a room, acknowledges the competing priorities out loud, and leads a really frank, open conversation about the trade-offs we have to make.
And here's the key to all of this. Putting these tools together isn't some academic exercise. The goal is what we call practical wisdom. It's the difference between knowing the theory and knowing how to apply it when, your data is a complete mess, your budget gets cut, and two of your key stakeholders just can't agree on anything. That's where the real strategy happens.
And speaking of messy reality, what happens when your perfectly crafted plan meets the absolute chaos of a real workplace? Well, this is where the true test of a strategist really begins.
Does this feeling seem familiar at all? I once coached this brilliant data scientist. She knew every research paper, had been to all the right conferences, but on day one of her first major AI implementation, she was just paralyzed. The clean, predictable world of theory had completely vanished, and it was replaced by the messy reality of the business.
This slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the textbook plan, nice and neat, and on the right, you have reality. Tangled spreadsheets, conflicting priorities from every direction, and a deadline that always feels way too close. That giant gap between the two, that's where most AI projects go to die.
So how did we get that data scientist unstuck? Was it by giving her another textbook to read? No way. The solution was a structured, step-by-step approach. A playbook designed specifically to cut right through the chaos of the real world.
So let's get right to that playbook. This is a simple 5-step action plan that you can use to turn a complex AI ambition into a focused, manageable project.
Okay, here's the plan. Step 1, define the scope. And don't just say something vague like improve efficiency. Get specific. For instance, reduce invoice processing time from 3 days down to 4 hours. Step 2, audit the current process. This means actually sitting with the accounting team and mapping out every single step they take. Find the real bottleneck. Step 3, a focused pilot. This one is so crucial. Don't try to automate all of accounting at once. Start with one type of invoice from one specific vendor. Prove it works there first. Step 4, measure. You have to compare the time and the error rate of the new AI process directly against the old manual one. And finally, step 5, iterate and scale. Use what you learned from that one vendor to refine the process. Then you can start to expand it to the whole department.
And that measurement step, step 4, that is your secret weapon. When you can walk into a meeting and say, our pilot reduced errors by 90% and saved 20 hours a week, that's not an opinion. That's an objective result. Hard data silences skeptics. It builds the trust you need to get the resources to scale your project. You're not asking for their belief anymore. You're showing them the proof.
Now, a great plan is absolutely essential, but it's not enough. To lead effectively in a field that basically reinvents itself every 6 months, you need to cultivate the right leadership mindset. Let's just be crystal clear about this. The AI model that's state-of-the-art today will be just average in a year and probably obsolete in 2. In this field, continuous learning isn't just a nice-to-have for your resume, it is a basic, fundamental requirement for survival.
And that commitment to learning, it all starts with intellectual humility. It's having the confidence to say, I don't know the answer to that, but I will find out. The best AI leaders I've ever worked with are the ones who are constantly asking questions, constantly admitting what they don't know. They understand that their current knowledge has an expiration date, and honestly, that's what keeps them ahead of the curve.
So let's make this real. Don't let this just be another interesting explainer you listen to. I want you to look at your own work, right now, using that 5-step plan as your guide. What is the one single process that's causing the most friction or taking up the most time? Identify it. That's your pilot project. Start there. Start small and start today.